With every new season of anime, certain shows are destined to rise above the competition and be widely adopted by anime fans across the globe. Recently, last year we saw Rent-a-Girlfriend and ReZero Season 2 perform much better than the competition, yet very few shows are able to rival the sheer popularity of Attack on Titan, the final season. It feels like everyone who has dipped their toe into the anime scene is watching this show right now, and for good reason. This show is the thrilling conclusion to perhaps one of the most well-developed and captivating narratives the anime world has seen in a long time, so it stands to reason that it would be able to capture such a wide audience. But how exactly does this most recent season go about developing the plot and keeping people interested? Well, I'm glad you asked, because today, that is exactly the question that I seek to answer. Getting right into things, thematically speaking, Attack on Titan Season 4 has a very specific goal in mind. It is exceedingly clear that Season 4 wants to draw strong parallels between the citizens of Marley, mostly the Eldian ones, and the people within the walls on Paradise Island. But as anyone who has seen the show knows, in order to draw such a parallel, the Marleyans are going to have to go through some pretty traumatic events, and that is exactly where Eren comes in. To flip things on their head, the show reintroduces Eren 4 years after we leave him in Season 3, but this time, things are a bit different. Eren is no longer the hopeful yet vengeful protagonist we knew from Season 3, but rather, he has become a disillusioned idealist obsessed with the vengeance that pushed him forward before. It's a difficult transition to watch unfold, but as the episodes go on, with each minute of screen time, Eren seems to become less and less of the man we knew him as, and more of a villain. I know that it may be difficult to see Eren as anything close to a villain given his circumstances, but if we look at his actions in Season 4, what other conclusion are we to draw? So far, he has used the power of his Titan to tear down buildings, attack the Marleyan military, and even go so far as to trample on the lives of innocent civilians with no regard to their involvement in the war. Men, women, and children alike all perish beneath the power of Eren's attack Titan, and what's worst of all is that he doesn't even seem fazed by this. What I've just described may feel oddly familiar, right? That's because this series of events is shot for shot a callback to the horrors Eren, Mikasa, and Armin endured during the fall of Wall Maria. Soon after Eren's display of force attracts the attention of the Marleyan warriors, we see the scouts launch a full offensive in the middle of a residential area. At this point, the lives of the innocent are of little importance to characters like Floch and Eren, who both seem all too uninterested in slowing the conflict. Some of the scouts seem a bit more hesitant about all this though. Characters like Jean make sure to show their disapproval of this attack, and yet they have no choice but to participate. This will be important a little bit later. While confronting the other Titan shifters, Eren wastes no time in tearing both the venue and the opposing forces to shreds. With the support of the scouts, this attack is no battle, but rather a massacre. Military officials can't get control of the situation, and the warriors are getting absolutely dismantled by the scouts. Then, as if all of this destruction was somehow not enough, Armin uses his colossal titan to bomb the coastal region of the city. At this point, likely hundreds, if not thousands of innocent lives are lost, and all of this destruction and death began in the hands of who we once thought was the moral center of the show, Eren Yeager. Now you may be wondering, why is the show going to such great lengths to question the morality of our heroes? And the answer to that is one simple reason. The whole idea of Season 4 is to flip all preconceptions that the audience holds about the show and make you, the viewer, question your own stance on the conflict. Do you choose to blindly follow Eren's attachment to his vengeance? Or do you empathize with the Marleyans who are now under siege just like humanity was in the first season? Or do you perhaps find yourself more in line with characters like Jean, who just want the killing to end? I think Jean specifically represents a chance for viewers to get a look at what exactly the show is trying to say. Without characters like Jean questioning Eren's actions, it would be much more difficult for people to tear themselves away from Eren, given the relationship that they've had with him for the past 3 seasons. I think just about everyone can agree that Marley is by no means in the right, and their oppression of the Eldians is an unforgivable affront on basic human rights. However, as the old saying goes, 2 wrongs do not make a right, and nothing represents this more than Eren and his attack on Marley. While we as viewers can see how he got to this point and understand the reasons behind his attack, by no means does this understanding make them morally justifiable. In fact, they are outright reprehensible. To make matters worse, as we see in episode 67, Eren was acting completely independently in this matter, and forced the scout's hand to come and rescue him, tragically leading to the loss of not just Marleyan citizens, but valued members of the scouting regiment, like Sasha. Were it not for Eren's decision to attack, she and many other scouts would still be alive. All of this weighs heavy on the conscience of the soldiers who took part in this battle, and at the end of episode 67, everyone seems unsure about their feelings towards Eren. Everyone except for one character, that is. Gabi is perhaps one of, if not the most contemptuous character in all of anime at this moment. After her actions in the most recent episode, she has skyrocketed to the top slot of hated anime characters, outranking the likes of Mami from Rent a Girlfriend and Sakura from Naruto. But I'm here to break the unfortunate news that all of the hate and vitriol is 100% unwarranted. Okay, maybe not 100% unwarranted. But what I mean is that Gabi is not an evil or truly vile character. Rather, she is a victim of circumstance, just like Eren. To explore this concept, let's look at her life as we know it so far. Gabi has lived her whole life oppressed by the Marleyan government, but finally she's been given a chance to earn some power by becoming a warrior. She is on track to inherit the Armored Titan, and things are looking good for her life. With the power and social status that comes with being a warrior, she can finally get her family out of the internment zones and serve her country. Now I know that many may be thinking, the country that she wants to serve hates her for being Eldian, so she wouldn't want to fight for it anyways. And you're not wrong. However, Gabi, like every other warrior, was raised in a country that from birth drilled the concept that because of her status as Eldian, she deserves the oppression, and the only way to rise above it is to become a Titan shifter for the Marleyan military. This is literally her only path to salvation in her eyes, and just as she begins to think everything is looking up, Eren pops his Titan and kills two of her friends right before her very eyes, and proceeds to launch an all-out war on her home. Imagine how much more pain Eren would have suffered if Mikasa and Armin didn't make it out of episode 1. That hypothetical is Gabi's reality, and just like Eren, she is committed to taking vengeance on the people who crossed an ocean just to kill her friends. From her perspective, things are just as horrible and wrong as they are from the opposing side. So if we are to stand by the scouts in their conflict against Marley for their wrongdoings, how can we fault Gabi, an individual facing the same circumstances as Eren, for coming to the same conclusion as him? It is absolutely true that the Marleyan government is wildly in the wrong and needs to be stopped with regards to their oppression of the Eldian, but it is morally reprehensible to put all of the blame and responsibility squarely on the shoulders of a 12-year-old girl who is doing exactly what Eren would have done in her situation. As you can see, once again, it all comes back to the parallel between humanity in Season 1 and the Marleyans in Season 4. There are wrongs on both sides of the war, and there are rights on both sides of the war. At the end of the day, there is no true villain in this story yet, other than perhaps the oppression that the Eldians face. And with characters like Eren and Gabi being such perfect mirrors, we are forced to turn to other characters in search of a moral reprieve. In this sense, characters like Jean have taken the spotlight, because they don't wish for more conflict or a total all-out victory, yet rather they acknowledge that war is inherently evil, and neither side is truly justified in their actions. While it is fun to see Titans fighting and the war raging, I think Attack on Titan Season 4's best quality is its ability to make a truly two-sided conflict that leaves the audience with no team to join. Instead, we are left with a profound sense of powerlessness in the face of a war much bigger than Gabi, Eren, or even ourselves as viewers. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you made it this far, you probably liked what I had to say, so if that's the case, be sure to leave me a like so I know I'm doing something right. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload. Also, I have a Twitter and an Instagram if that's something that interests you. Links to those will be below. But with all that YouTube stuff out of the way, I just want to say thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.